Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what's happening? It's your boy Highlight Real, aka the Prince of Botch. You already know your boy Dwayne in the building. Welcome to yet another episode of Life's a Botch podcast. This is part three of our Black History Month series. So, if you haven't had a chance, if you're a new listener and you haven't had a chance to check out the first two parts, I highly encourage you to stop, pause this episode, go check out the first two. Okay, featuring shout out to my boy Josh from Gresh Unleashed on part one, and shout out to my boy Darren, my little bro, my little oos from I Am Tremont, who is also on episode number two. And so let me give y'all a few seconds to pause that thing. Go ahead and check out the first two episodes before you come back to this one right here. All right. All right, that's enough of that, ladies and gentlemen. So we are back. Welcome to yet another episode. If you already have been listening and have been a faithful listener, shout out to you. Salute to y'all. Nonetheless, this is our Black History Month special. So I took it upon myself to bring you guys an episode a week where basically it's a Black History Month edition where I am going to sit down and interview individuals about their most influential and impactful Black wrestlers over the years who personally had something to do with influencing them in their time of watching wrestling, whether they used to watch, whether they still watch, whether they're an in-between casual watcher. Regardless of the fact, at some point there was a key Black figure in their life. So join with me for this week's episode, part number three, is none other than my brother from also another. He is the partner with me in this OTS thing. You know what I'm saying? He is the man. The man behind the face that runs the place, had to take AJ Styles nice little thing right there, you know what I'm saying? Uh, he is a young entrepreneur, a CEO. He is one of the hardest working men in show business, bringing you forth platforms like this. He is responsible for this very show in terms of helping to run this thing and co-produce this thing to make it be the phenomenal show that you guys love to listen to and view if you're watching on YouTube oh so much. So without further ado, allow me to introduce you guys to my brother, and you already know the one I got mad love for, and the creator of OTS, ladies and gentlemen, none other than Mr. Derrick Myers. What's up, sir?
What's going on, bro? What's going
What's
on? How you
going
been?
on? Been great, man. Been great. Welcome back to the show, my friend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely, man. It was a given that we had to bring you on for this. I know we've touched on this, and I know that you don't get to catch up on today's product as frequently. But nonetheless, man, it was still a must-have to bring you on because I know that this is a very, very important subject matter to bring someone like you on, man. I know how
Sure.
pro-Black you are for sure.
Oh
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Black seed, black,
Absolutely.
black, black.
Exactly. And so for that, man, it was a given. It was a no-brainer, man. I had to bring my brother on this thing and let him showcase to the world. So without further ado, man, you ready to get into this thing?
Oh, for sure.
For
For sure.
sure.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, let's get it cracking. It is, oh wow, I gave y'all a throwback term. Sorry, kids. I didn't mean to do that. It just came out of nowhere. It came out the blue of the dome. But
Fine. We're
anyways,
old school.
we old school. I guess I brought an old school term, but y'all know I got the new school terminology too. I'm a little bit of everything. But anyways, uh, now let's get it popping. Let's see. There's another throwback for y'all.
Yeah.
Sorry. That being said, here we go. So, Mr. Derrick Myers, good sir, tell me what key Black wrestler has influenced you and been an impact in your life and how you operate and put a little bit of something in you as you've gone forth in life, man. Talk to me about what's a Black wrestler that has truly been impactful to you in your time of watching wrestling.
Man, I have a few. Um, First and foremost, I'm gonna get this one out the way because I know this is probably everyone's response, but The Rock for sure.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Just, I mean, he's definitely someone that's actually been someone that I've watched even beyond wrestling, just in terms
Yes.
of how he runs business and his mantras, of just working, like
Yes.
just how hard of, and diligent of a worker he actually is. um
Yes.
so yeah, I'll say The Rock. Booker T was definitely one of my favorites as a kid.
Yes.
I
Yes.
still I still have yet. I probably shouldn't even try it at this point, but I still have yet to do the spin.
Oh, the spinneroonie. Yes.
Spinneroonie is something I have been dying to do. But
Yes.
yeah, he was one of my favorite ones. Actually, I would say he was probably one of my favorite ones to hate. For a
Mm.
long time. Uh,
Wow.
he was one of the ones that especially like in the early days of WWE, he wasn't someone that actually got a major push,
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
But as he rose up through the ranks over the years, he his his rival with John Cena,
Ah, yes.
man, I was pulling for him so bad because I at that time that's when I got tired of John Cena. I was just This dude was just too much, man. I
Yeah.
not that I didn't like success, but
Mm-hmm.
they cram one guy like into
Uh-huh.
that spot every single time, and it's always for no reason.
Yes.
Outside
Yes.
of just the traditional look of a wrestler in terms of
Mm-hmm.
size and muscle and all that stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Booker T for sure. Kofi Kingston being Jamaican, even though I know he's not Jamaican, um, it was good to see Jamaican representation. I would love to see an actual Jamaican in that ring.
Yeah.
That company.
Yes.
I would actually love to see, like, I'm not sure if there's anybody that is Jamaican that's in there, but someone that actually, that runs with that persona. Because I
Mm-hmm.
loved seeing Kofi Kingston like that. And it's actually
Yes.
weird. Does he even still go by Kingston? Is it just Kofi?
He actually does. They still call him Kofi Kingston, yes, but
Okay.
you'll hear sometimes you'll just hear Kofi, and then
Okay.
sometimes you'll hear Kofi Kingston. But the last name is it's funny actually because in today's product, right? I
Hmm.
think the New Day actually talks about it on their podcast all the time
Hmm.
about how you know when they were in NXT as developmental, they would have like a first and last name.
Yeah.
Then when they get to the main roster, all of a sudden Vince just cuts half the name, and it's just the last name or it's just the first name, whatever
Oh
the
wow.
case is, right? And so Kofi Kingston always jokes about it and he says, I'm the one guy that managed to actually survive and keep both names. So, he's Kofi Kingston still, even with the gimmick gone.
See,
So
and that's the thing that kind of trips me out is what is the Kingston for? That's not his actual last name, right?
no, it's not. It's
So if
not.
he's not doing the Jamaican character anymore, like what's
Why still have the
why
last name?
still
I
have it?
know, I know. It's so weird, it's very weird, but I mean, it rings, and I guess market wise,
Yeah.
by this point, the crowd knows him as
Yeah.
Kofi Kingston,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
what can you say, bro? But
Yeah. Nah, it would be nice to see either a solo character that's Jamaican or a tag team. I think a tag team would be fun as hell.
I could
Jamaican
agree.
tag team. That would be, oh, you could tell so many stories with that.
You really could. It's needed, man.
Hmm.
You have, especially now, WWE needs a tag team division, so a
Yeah.
Jamaican tag team definitely brings I could see that. That would be a
Yeah.
lot of dope charisma added for
Yeah,
sure.
and it's a lot of creativity, like just with the colors, I mean, even if you want to add food like New Day with the pancakes, you add beef patties or something. Like, I'd be
Yeah,
down for that.
I can tell you for a fact, if someone wanted to rip off the New Day, they could do that in the Indies with no problem.
Oh
Give a
yeah, oh
Jamaican
yeah.
tag team, get Jamaican patties, and just toss them
Toss
like the
them
New
out.
Day does with
Yeah,
pancakes.
yeah,
They'll
yeah,
be over instantly. There you go. That's it.
yeah,
So listen, world, if
yeah,
you're an indie wrestler or maybe you're a tag team and you're an indie tag team and you need a gimmick, there you go. If you're actually Jamaican, you got to be Jamaican to pull
you
it
have to
off.
be
Though.
Jamaican. Yeah,
Okay,
I
that's the
because
one
I'm tired.
requirement.
It's almost like the Drake effect for me. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
I appreciate that people love the culture, but let someone that's actually Jamaican do that,
make it work
and
exactly.
it makes me feel better. Being a Jamaican, it makes me feel better to see Jamaican representation, like for real, not someone else doing it. But yeah,
100.
shoot, I'll even say another one. I think I have a couple more.
Okay.
Naomi. Um,
Ooh, yes, yes.
I hated seeing how hard it's been for her. I
Hmm.
haven't been keeping up with WWE, over God consistently since like maybe 14, 13,
Hmm.
14. But I would tune in every once in a while, and seeing her uh go from not really being utilized to actually having a character
Mm.
that had natural hair.
Yes,
That's different to see. You know what I'm saying? That's what you want to see. And also with
yes,
Booker T with the locks, it was just
yes.
Booker T and Kofi actually. It's been good to see
Hmm.
natural hair being something that is embraced. Because we don't get to embrace it in a lot of different industries. So to be able to see wrestlers, take that on and add that to their character is phenomenal. So, again, I haven't seen much of the modern product, um, just because I 3 hour Raw just doesn't work for me. But I appreciate seeing that, and also I have one more.
Okay, go ahead, shoot it.
Actually, Jesus, I'll just say one more.
Go
Because
ahead, brother.
two more came to my mind. But the Boogeyman. I think he's
Wow,
I think he's someone that doesn't get appreciated. He actually
wow.
grossed me the hell out. Like he
The
grossed me the hell out
boogeyman.
for sure, man.
Okay.
Seeing a man eat worms, like
Yes.
not fake worms, not like even fake eating, like actually
Yes.
eating worms every
Yes.
single episode. Like it was his rivalries. I don't think he was utilized to the fullest, but
Mhm.
he was someone that I think was actually highly underappreciated. I think he's someone that should definitely get some recognition, because I would love to see him either come back and wrestle. 'Cause I know he's come back like maybe like two or three times over the years, but
Mhm.
to actually get a spot. Not to say it has to be a title run, but just to
Mhm.
see him, like say him and Bray Wyatt.
Mm.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like that would be interesting because they're so weird. They're so out there, out of the box,
Yeah.
and it would be nice to see something with him. But even if he doesn't come back, um, I think that he's someone that is very underrated, and should definitely get his highlight. So
Yeah. I love
yeah,
that, brother.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's cool.
and Crime Time. I can't forget about Crime Time. Crime Time made me like love wearing my Tims. I would I bro, I was wearing my Tims in the summer.
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
wore mine all year long. So, JTG and Shad,
Yes.
most definitely rest in peace to Shad. But um I love seeing those guys, but I hated seeing how stereotypical they were used. But
Mm-hmm.
I still love that they were able to make it their own, and even through the stereotype break through to reach the audience in a way
Yes.
that um maybe not necessarily another tag team with that gimmick would have been able to do. They felt authentic. So yeah, I'll stop there. Because
I
I could
love it,
keep
brother.
going, but those are my choices, and I think they've all been different characters that have been very big in terms of me being able to watch WWE, like ones that I gravitated toward that weren't white.
I love it, brother. I love it. I love it. That is amazing. For the record, ladies and gentlemen, quick breaking news just off of a live reaction here. Ladies and gentlemen, Bad Bunny just won the 24 championship, the 24/7 championship. This man literally is a celebrity and just won the championship. Now, he's not the first celebrity and public figure to do so, but
Right.
go figure. Get multicultural. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mainstream status.
How
You
many
might see him
times?
on stage with the championship belt now.
That's going to be interesting. I remember
Yeah,
Enos Cantor had it when he was with the Celtics too. That was,
there you go. It was
yeah, very interesting.
my boy R Truth. Shout out to Ron
I,
Killings. He'll get his baby back.
I was going to ask
You
about
know,
him. How many
he
times has he won that title?
man, almost probably about 50 now at this point. Yeah, he's always finding a way to get that baby back. I don't know how he's
Yeah.
gonna get it back this go round, but
Okay.
he didn't lose it. He lost it through someone else, and then someone else beat that someone else, and that's how Bad Bunny got it. So I
Man.
don't know. Truth will
They
find a way. He'll dress up as
WWE.
a security person or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they got to figure out a different way to utilize that title. Because to me that title is one of those that is it's not taken seriously. I think
Yes.
you can actually do it in a different way to make it serious, make it have some type of weight. I think that's one thing that WWE got away from with their championships is allowing the champion to actually hold the title for a significant amount of time, whether
Yes.
it's 5 6 months to a year or whatever. Like, it actually means something when a champion can hold on to their title for a considerable amount of time and not be a transitional champion. I
Mm-hmm.
don't like that. That to me is one of the things that I was actually hoping that Booker T was going to be able to come back and get another run at the title, like, seriously.
Yes.
Before he's not retired, officially retired, right?
Funny thing is he actually did mention that he never officially retired. He feels like, I mean, you've seen his physical condition, still very much keeps himself in very much great shape.
Yeah.
Um, in terms of, well, he's always working on cardio, so I'm sure even with the speed, I'm sure, I mean, you get older, it does lose, you do lose a step, but
Hmm.
he does cardio very well, so he's not just jacked. He keeps himself in good cardiovascular shape. So I mean, he said he never officially retired. It's just he did wrestle a match. I think it was the year before last.
Okay. Okay.
For an indie
Okay.
promotion. It was
Okay.
a match he did for an indie promotion, and from what I saw, he still had it.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
in
I think that'd be
WWE's
someone
case, you know,
that'd be someone to see, like, at least before he does officially retire. I would love
yeah,
to see him actually get that championship one more time.
yeah, it'd be something to see for sure. So then let me ask you, based off what you said, from the influences you have given me,
Hmm.
which are great influences all in their own ways.
Yes.
I take it that means that mostly what you've really enjoyed about black wrestlers is because we know that in the WWE there's a prototypical look,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
For the male and the female.
Right.
In the case of the male, it was, 6'5" and above,
Hmm.
muscular, total package, charisma,
Yeah.
marketability. Can we sell them, wearing the suits and all kind of
Hmm.
things like that. In the case of the woman, it was usually, blonde,
Long straight hair.
sexy, yeah, curvy, sexy, sex appeal,
Yeah. Yeah.
for the most part, right?
Yeah.
So it seems like you've really enjoyed the fact that over the years, the black wrestler has been able to display the fact that we've always had charisma. That's a given.
Hmm.
From The Rock to Booker T, Crime Time, so many over the years, right? We've
Hmm.
had the athleticism for sure off top.
Yeah.
Those are given. But to see the look
Yeah.
of natural,
Natural.
natural hair, as you
Hmm.
said, locks, fro,
Yeah.
being able to showcase yourself athletically, with charisma, but also with the look to match all of that.
Yeah.
Is that what's been most important to you in the evolution of the black wrestler today?
For sure, because you could tell like that was something that wasn't emphasized prior. Like we were able to see the white wrestlers pretty much do anything that they wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
But the black wrestlers are always put in this box of just, like they had to be the prototypical black person,
Mm-hmm.
um, loud, boisterous. Um, I shouldn't say prototypical, but stereotypical.
Mm-hmm.
Um, loud, boisterous, and second rate, subservient to the white wrestlers, and
Mm-hmm.
that was something that I always hated to see. Um, because if you see the wrestlers that they had there, the different people that could have actually had serious runs,
Mm-hmm.
like take for example the rivalry that Kofi had with Randy Orton. That
Mm.
was the time for Kofi to push. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That was it.
Yes.
And to see that it didn't take place for what, like almost, was it like 10 years?
11, yeah, 11
11?
years. Yes.
For him to not actually get that shot,
Mm-hmm.
like a legitimate shot at the title for 11 years after, makes no
Mm-hmm.
sense. It just makes no sense. And why? Because he's skinnier. He was definitely skinnier than and smaller than Randy Orton,
Mm-hmm.
but there was nothing different in terms of what he could bring to the table. He was able to do different things that Randy couldn't do.
Mm-hmm.
Randy's not athletic in terms of high flying and stuff like that. He's not that kind of wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
But the storytelling is there, and I think that if when these guys get their shot to tell their story,
Mm-hmm.
the way they want to, there's nothing that they can't do. Like again, Naomi. Naomi is a wrestler. She's a talent that I believe should be leading the charge for the women's division. The like, of course, you have your Sasha Banks, you have Charlotte Flairs, you have all of them that are there,
Mm-hmm.
but Naomi, from what I understand, she's not in that tier, right? She's not up there with those ladies.
Um, it's tough. A lot of people look at her as underrated.
Hmm.
She has definitely been a champion, on I believe a couple of occasions. So I believe she's a 2 or 3 time women's champion,
But
for
how long were her
sure.
runs?
Let's see. The first run didn't last too long, but it was due to an injury, so she
Right,
had to give the
I remember
title up.
that. Yeah.
But she won the title back and she did get her WrestleMania moment, because a lot of times that's what most wrestlers, regardless of color, race, every wrestler wants that WrestleMania moment. That
Hmm.
moment where you won the title or just something momentous happened.
Right, right, right.
So Naomi did have her WrestleMania moment when she defeated Alexa Bliss and became the women's champion for a second time.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about it is, it doesn't. It goes a little under the radar. Like a lot of people look at Naomi's accomplishments and they seem to just go under the radar. You know what I mean? Like she
Mm-hmm.
seems underrated. So yes, to answer your question, she doesn't seem to go on the level of a Sasha Banks, a Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss. You know, these women who have accomplished so much more. Which even with Sasha though,
I was about to say Sasha's not
she's
anywhere
another one
near
who, yeah, she's finally getting the run, the proper run that she deserves. You
there.
know,
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
having the title for a long, lengthier time.
Yeah.
Um, so a lot of times with title runs, it's more so this is the same thing Kofi had to face with his championship run because these days it seems to be more memorable of okay, yes, you had the title, but I want to remember it because of the feuds. Did you have the
Right.
right feuds? You know,
Right.
who
Right.
who did you beat?
It's the
Who
story.
exactly, you
That's
know.
that's a major component of wrestling, storytelling.
Hmm.
If the story is not there, then what does it matter? The
Hmm.
match, is cool, but the build up toward the match is what I think we all as fans anticipate
Hmm.
before the actual match. That's
Oh,
why
agreed.
everything that happened with The Rock, like his storytelling is second to none
Yes.
in rivalry. Like just before the actual match, like his match would build up toward with John Cena, the Fruity Loops thing. Like
Oh,
I
yes.
I
Yes.
still like that whole build up was hilarious as hell, and it was just amazing. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
amazing. So I just I want I want wrestlers that black wrestlers that don't get that shine, that don't
Hmm.
get that spotlight to be able to have that moment
Hmm.
and to be able to sit in it for a minute, not get into a title picture and then it's just like transitional moment where they're in it for about a month and then all right, new champion. I
Hmm.
don't like that. I don't like that. I'm not going to get into that, but I don't
Yeah.
like seeing that.
I agree. I agree.
No.
And again, much like how we say with racism and equality and things of that nature, wrestling has come a long way in terms of
Yes.
its backstage politics and things of that nature. But it's still a long way to go. Still, there's still
It's
some things
I
that go
think
on behind the
Vince
scenes.
I think Vince is a big part of that.
Agreed. Because that was going to be my next point for you is that, or question I should say is, even though I know you don't keep up with the product as heavy,
Hmm.
um, one thing about today is that the black wrestlers are everywhere in the indie scene.
Right.
There's crops of black talent, men and women who are out there on the scene killing it
Hmm.
and making names for themselves and grinding it out. Even with the midst of the pandemic that has slowed things down, you still have a lot of dope black wrestlers that weren't around at that time of the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era. You didn't see a lot of key black wrestlers back
Right.
then. You again,
Right.
as you mentioned, you saw the Shelton Benjamins, the Booker T's, and so forth, the MVPs, but now you have a whole wave of tons of black talent, both mainstream from AEW and WWE and
Hmm.
Ring of Honor and all of these promotions, but
Hmm.
also in those indie scenes that you may not know about. So,
Right.
my question for you is given the evolution of how many black wrestlers are how many black people are in wrestling,
Hmm.
um, how does that make you feel knowing that now this seems to be a sport that we're actually really, really starting to not only excel in, but even now in all these promotions, you're seeing a lot more black champions. How does that make you feel?
I love it. At the same time, I'm skeptical about it. I
Hmm.
don't know if I can believe in it because it almost feels like what's the right word? it almost feels like they're doing it out of necessity, not
Hmm.
out of the fact that these people have actually earned that spot. That they actually have the talent and they deserve to be in that position. It almost feels like it's a like they're just throwing one to us to say, okay, here you go, you got it for now, just to shut you up. And that's where I feel like I don't know if I can truly believe it being the best thing, because of the fact that you know they're only doing it so that they don't get put into a bad light. that's
Hmm.
that's where I start to kind of like question, like, what's the intent behind it. But
Hmm.
of course I love seeing it, and I think that the more that the audience gravitates toward it, the more they have to push the black wrestler.
Hmm.
There's no, you can't deny it. You can't, honestly, you can't deny talent.
Yes.
So once these people get into this into these spotlights, it is almost it's undeniable. You can't say that they don't deserve to be there, and then put them into a. And actually I think that the prototypical wrestler, the big
Hmm.
white guy, white blonde hair guy, blue eyes, I think
Hmm.
that's done. I think that's done.
Yes. Yes.
I think that's done. And I think one of the first ones to actually break through was with that look was Mark Henry.
Mm. Interesting. Mark Henry.
I think he was one of,
Now,
to me, he was one of the first ones that I got to see become champion. I mean, of course, Big Show did, but for a black man that doesn't have a 6 8 pack 8 pack abs and all that stuff,
mhm.
like, what I'm saying, like
Ah,
that was
okay.
different. That was different.
I I think I see where you were going with that because I was gonna say, I'm surprised that you didn't mention a Ron Simmons who really paved the way for a lot of us and didn't look
Hmm.
like what you mentioned with the typical blonde hair, blue eyes, and things of that nature. But
Hmm.
I get it now because even Ron Simmons was a very ripped and cut guy.
Muscular guy,
So
yeah.
you're meaning a guy like Mark Henry who's muscular but
Yes.
has the meat covering up the muscularness.
Yeah.
So I get what you mean now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I can see what you mean by that. That was a first prototypical. Okay, this is not what we're used to kind of guy. So yeah, I
Hmm.
like how you put that.
Yeah.
That's an interesting observation that I don't think anyone mentioned before. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like that. I like
That's
that.
it's just different. It's different. And then um God, what's her name? She had a brief stint in WWE. She came from TNA, I believe. Um
Hmm.
Khan. I want to say it's Khan or Khan.
Awesome, calm.
Yes.
Yes, yes,
Yes. Also not a stereotypical or prototypical
yeah,
female wrestler.
yeah. She was one. If it hadn't been for the fact that she had kids at the time,
Hmm.
you could tell she had that rocket to
Oh,
really. Yeah, WWE, her run in WWE was very forgettable because of how short it was.
yeah.
But she was gonna get that rocket, and you
Yeah.
could tell if she hadn't had kids at the time or was about to give birth, she would have got that rocket to definitely be a dominant champion that you remember for sure.
Right.
But because of her time and impact, she was a dominant Impact Women's Champion, and like you
And
said,
if you watch TNA, you
hmm,
know how great she was there. That if she had just had that push in WWE, God, man, ah,
yeah, it was coming. It was
it
it was coming.
was,
She had
it
an
was,
unfortunate situation, and like I said, when pregnancy's in the picture,
yeah,
everything comes to a halt. But if that hadn't happened, she definitely would have had that solid WWE run we would have loved to have seen.
for sure.
But for sure, man, I love that introspect that you have, man. That is great perspective and observation. You brought some people to the fray that haven't been mentioned. So I love when these episodes are different. And I guess my final question for you
Yes, sir.
is because I know you don't get to keep up with the product as much, but what would make you what would you want to see from today's black talent that would bring you back to wanting to watch wrestling on a full-time basis?
Them not being gimmicks. I want to see them taken seriously. I want them taken, all of them, not just like a few. I want
Mm-hmm.
all of them taken as seriously as the other wrestlers. The
Mm-hmm.
the 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 white wrestlers, the like Triple H
Mm-hmm.
or Shawn Michaels, Chris Benoit, like those guys were taken seriously, or even of the newer generation, like Sheamus, who
Mm-hmm.
was, he had a serious run for a little minute.
Yeah.
Like just take them serious. I don't
Yeah.
want to see them be used and underutilized. I
Mm.
don't like that. I don't like that. So, you know, and again, of course, like I said earlier, once this is, to me, this is a lot has to do with Vince being there, and my guess is that once he passes away, which you don't wish death on anyone, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't think that WWE will reach that next level
Mm-hmm.
until Vince is gone, and hopefully Triple H can take over at that point, like over
Mm-hmm.
everything, because I think he has, um, I think he has an eye for talent, and I think he has an understanding of what needs to be done to take this to the next level, and I think that
Mm-hmm.
he'll be able to do it. I think you would see a lot of the old stuff come back in terms of pay per views, in terms
Mm-hmm.
of cutting down on pay per views,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. I remember when pay per views were an event. It's not an event anymore. It's something that happens almost like what, once a month. Like,
Yeah. Almost twice a month at this point. Every
come
other
on,
week. Every
it
other
doesn't
week.
it doesn't make sense. It doesn't allow you to anticipate anymore. Like I remember, like waiting. I could not
Mm-hmm.
wait for WrestleMania, or I could not wait for No Way Out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, even New Year's Revolution,
Mm-hmm.
when they would have the Elimination Chamber at that pay per view. That was the only pay per view they had. They didn't have the Elimination Chamber pay per view.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
like those type of things, those elements. You look forward to that, because then there was a Royal Rumble after that, and like I loved that, the
That.
build up toward the
I
build
got you.
toward allowed storytelling to be a lot better, and
Yes.
that's what I miss. So I think hopefully Triple H is able to take over, a lot of that will come back into play.
I love that. I love that. And so I guess I would ask you this one last thing that just came to my head on top of what you said about gimmicks.
Sure.
So we saw Bianca Belair become the first black woman to win the women's Royal Rumble,
Hmm.
which is huge because of the fact that there's only been about now four of them.
Hmm.
So that already, she already the year prior held the record, or holds the record, ties the record with another woman who's not quite white. So I guess you could say of a different minority for sure, but she ties the record for most eliminations with 8,
Nice.
and also held the record, holds the record for longest time in the Royal Rumble, I believe, as well,
Nice.
with this win. So
Nice.
here's a woman that has made all kind of strides. And again, a Sasha Banks, her and a Sasha Banks have potential to make history, to main event a Mania at this
Hmm.
point. So do you look at Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair to fit as that whole gimmick, or do you see them genuinely being themselves?
I can't speak to Bianca because
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen her. What
Mm-hmm.
I've seen of Sasha, I don't think she's a gimmick. I think, and I would assume that Bianca's in that
Mm-hmm.
same sphere, um, of just being themselves. I love that. I love that. Because I think, okay, almost like a basketball thing. You know how when as a coach, certain coaches, well, really most coaches can allow certain players
Mm-hmm.
to just do what they need to do. Like they
Mm-hmm.
don't tell them XYZ. They just let them go and do what they need to do and let them be them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think if WWE started doing that more,
Mm-hmm.
which allowing these wrestlers to these these different talent to go and showcase what they can do
Mm-hmm.
without restraint, I think we would see a lot better storytelling. I think so. Again, I haven't seen. God, I haven't even I haven't watched. I haven't watched anything since Edge returned to WrestleMania
Mm-hmm.
last year. So I don't even know what's been going over for the last year. Well, I know that Bianca won her Royal Rumble and Edge won the men's one, but
Mm-hmm.
um, I couldn't tell you much about it, but I would venture to say that if they allowed those two to do what they just do best, we'd see much better from them. You know, and
Yes.
I hope that this is the beginning for them, is that they're allowed to be themselves and just run with it. Just go. Like I wouldn't want to hold them back, you know.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Black
Absolutely.
women, you Jesus. I
Come on.
Vince ain't learned that. Vince
Mm-hmm.
ain't learned that. That's his problem. You gotta let black women do what they do best. Just let them be themselves, and
Yes.
creatively. I think when you allow them to do that, um, on your platform creatively, you get so much more out of it. So much more.
Mm.
You can't tell. I'm sorry, you can't tell a black woman, you know, how to be a black woman. You can't tell a black man how to be a black man. Just let them be themselves and
There you
take
go.
their character and run with it, you know. So
I love
that's what
that.
I hope to see more of.
I love that. I love that. And so, man, that is great perspective. I totally love your insight and your outlook on what you would like to see. Again, we've come so far, and yet we have such a long way to go, but the
Yes,
future is
sir.
looking so bright for independent, young, up and coming black wrestlers, both male and female. So, again, if you're an up and coming talent, and you're black and you're listening, keep pushing, keep striding because you will be in the main event. You will be a champion. You will be a multi time champion. You
Most
will
definitely.
be able to be a Hall of Famer. It is definitely in your future. You just got to continue to be you, continue to sell yourself, and let the people know who you are and bring you to the main event, if
Most
that makes sense. So again, I thank you, brother, because I know how much you love to be behind the scenes. But when
definitely.
you come on, it's always a great discussion, my friend.
Yes,
So
sir.
thank you so much for joining us on this part three edition. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting close. We got more, coming. So we're gonna
Yes,
work
sure.
on getting you guys the next available episode for this final series, as Black History Month is still in its continuation. So I'm gonna work on getting you at least one more episode, if not two, to squeeze in for the month,
Most
and
definitely.
let you guys know that our history is just as important in wrestling as anyone else's. And we thank you guys for always tuning in, always being a part. Shout out to the New Day for having a Mario themed version of New Day in a graphic. That was pretty dope.
Nice.
Just saw that
Nice.
live, never seen that before, but that was pretty cool. Must have been Xavier Woods' idea because he would totally tell
Oh
them to
yeah.
do something like that.
Oh
But
yeah.
that was a very interesting graphic. WWE, you should have did that a long time ago. That is awesome.
Yes, sir.
Nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, well, first and foremost, Derrick, please tell the people that are listening where they can find the man behind Life's a Botch podcast. Where can they
Sir.
find you, sir?
Yes, sir. Well, you can follow me, my personal page. You can follow at Derrick _OTS. That's DERRICK, the black way to spell it. and more so follow the brand, man. If you don't follow me, follow the brand. Is at OTS guys on all platforms. You can also find us on our website www.otsguys.com. You find us on YouTube. All of our shows are on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Play, I believe. Where else? iHeartRadio. We just announced
Mm-hmm.
iHeartRadio in the last week, so
Yes,
we're
sir.
on there, and we are also on Six Families Radio. So check us out on all those platforms, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We have a lot of stuff coming on the YouTube channel, man. A lot of YouTube based shows coming. So tune in, subscribe, and check us out.
For sure, for sure, for sure. And ladies and gentlemen, as you always know, I thank you, yes, you, so much for taking the time out of your day and your schedule to listen to this very podcast, to listen to the Life's a Botch podcast, and to listen to your boy, the
Most
Prince of
definitely.
Botch himself, Dwayne, because, well, I try to bring y'all some dope content in many, many ways. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we got some dope guests coming on the way. Y'all know I can't reveal that, but you got some dope guests coming on the way. So y'all stay tuned because you always know you never know what I'm going to bring y'all. But nonetheless, I thank y'all so much for rocking with me, rocking with the show, rocking with the brand, and of course, rocking with the brand behind the brand in OTS. So make sure you guys check out www.otsguys.com. All right. And most importantly, make sure you subscribe to OTS on YouTube. So make sure you look up
Yes.
on the sidelines. We're on the road to 100 subscribers, just like we are on the road to 50 episodes. As a matter of fact,
Most
I've got to
definitely.
keep track on that because we got a special something we working on for y'all on
Yeah.
episode 50.
Yeah.
So, that being said, make sure you follow the Life's a Botch podcast on Instagram at Life's a Botch podcast. Shout out to all of y'all who interact with me. Shout out to all of y'all who basically follow the podcast. Shout out to all you other wrestling podcasts out there who like to collab with your boy. I do appreciate you all. Again, I appreciate you listeners. Make sure you subscribe. If you're on Apple, podcast, make sure you leave that review. Make sure you please leave that review 5 stars, please,
For
because
sure.
the more reviews you leave on this show, the higher we're noticed, the higher we're out there amongst others who enjoy wrestling content so they can check out our latest interviews. Because, like I said, if you're a new listener, make sure you go back in the archives, check out dope interviews with guys like R Truth, guys like The Godfather, guys like Elijah Burke, ladies like Jordan Grace, Camille Brooks, Melina, Vicky Guerrero. The list goes on. We have had so many dope guests come onto this very platform, and we got more guests coming in the future. So
Yes,
again,
sir.
keep rocking with your boy, keep rocking with the kid, because you never know who's gonna step foot on this show.
Yes,
That
sir.
being said, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you. Happy Black History Month to my brothers and my sisters. And until the next time,
Yes,
we
sir.
out. Wait. Can't say it until I say it, ladies and gentlemen. Too sweet